Hello, good evening, gentlemen. It's Tuesday night. It's the 13th of June. It's gloriously sunny today. That's Wahin behind me. That's somewhere else. But believe me, today in southwest England, it was like that. I mean, not with palm trees, but with gloriously hot weather, sunshine, and it was that rare moment when it made you think. It'd go abroad if we had weather like this all the time. Anyway, it's nice, for you to. Oh, excuse me. Let me just get a drink of drinking chocolate. Oh, lovely stuff. That's better. Nice of you all to come along. And if you're watching this on replay, hello, good evening, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How's your father? Season's greetings, and glad you can come along, and hopefully you'll stay to the end. Cheers, okay? So anyway, there we go. Donald Trump. Nice to hear from you, Mr. Trump. Nice to hear from you, Mr. President. Jesus God, he's never far from the news, is he? It's amazing how many people know something. I mean, he's up in court for this, that, and the other, and yet there are still people who will stand by his side and say that he's the one that they want. Anyway, good evening, AJ. Oh, there we go, AJ. Good evening. Terrible news again. This time in Nottingham. Let's hope the punishment fits the crime. I mean, does it ever? I think they've got the bastard anyway, haven't they? Didn't he plow his vehicle into people, including he killed 3 people. There's a couple of others who are very, very ill, and a couple of the people that he killed. This always makes you a bit sad. A couple of them were students. I mean, that's bloody awful. Young people who have their life ahead of them. Chaz D. I Trump, I'm King Charles. Okay, so we got the ex-president and the king in the house, Mister. My brother's 72nd birthday. Happy birthday, John! A very, very happy birthday to John, the brother of Mister. Nice to have him. Happy birthday to you, anyway. Okay, Chaz D. Is this the Ed Sheeran concert? No. I do have the same initials as him, funnily enough. Let me see. Okay. Let's see. Chaz, get your brother on for Eddie's performance. Is that what you think of me? Do I do a performance? Yeah, maybe I should bring some bloody oranges on and like juggle them or dress up like a clown. You know what I mean? Richard O. Good evening, Eddie and the gang. Hope you're doing well. Instead of hot chocolate, you need to try a cold chocolate milk drink. No, I like hot chocolate. It may be blazing out there, but I kind of like hot chocolate. Oh, this is lovely. I've said before, there's 2 versions of this. There's the Cadbury's hot chocolate, which is lovely, which is this. But you get the Cadbury's drinking chocolate, which is not so nice. Oh, lovely. This is the better one, definitely. Okay. Sceneries is here. Hello to oh God almighty. That was hot stuff. That went on. Excuse me, that was bloody hot stuff. It's not exactly a cold temperature, I know. So that was hot stuff, like on a warm summer night. Sceneries, good evening. Ian Bowden, nice to hear from you, Ian. Tandra is here. Hello, hi Eddie and chat. Nice to hear from you, Tandra. Joe Hart. Good evening, Eddie. Hope you keep well. Nice to hear from you, Joe. Bottle Baby, Noonie, Leo Malley. Where's Leo Malley nowadays? Hi, Eddie. Now in Te Anau after 2 wonderful days in Milford Sound on New Zealand's South Island. Sounds wonderful, mate. Good for you. Leo Malley is traveling around. He's been to Philippines, Australia. Now he's in New Zealand. Good for him. Good for you, Lee. Anyway. David Merchant is here. Nice to hear from you, David. Sean Harris is here. Okay, nice to hear from you. Hi, Don 50. Hello. We've got Bangkok in the house. Don is in Bangkok. Nice to hear from you. Martin Ryder, tight heffalump shirt. It is tight. It's got elephants on it and that sort of thing. It is from Thailand. Maybe I washed it because it seemed a little bit tighter on me now, but you know, it's comfy anyway. Bilbao, Bilbao Kelso. Ed hit 31 in Manchester today. Okay, well, I mean, the weather is so nice. It can make, you know, even like a city. I'm not saying that Manchester's a grim city, but it can make an otherwise grey city into somewhere where you want to be. You know what I mean? Good for you anyway, mate. Barry from EastEnders, boss. Lovely day in the southeast today too. All the best, Eddie. Another fantastic shirt. Okay, nice to hear from you, mate. Paul Hoskin. It's hot. I burnt my cheeks. Well, you shouldn't have been trying to bloody put them on the grill, should you? Nice to hear from you, Paul. Gemini Star is here. Brentel, good day, Ed. You've inspired me to cut the drink. I've been off the beer for a week now. Good for you. I'll tell you what, there was a time not so long ago when I couldn't even give up the booze for a day, let alone a week. And now it's a whole 10 weeks since I've touched a drop of alcohol. I do drink a little bit much of those drinks with sweeteners in. The one that I really drink a lot is the Co-op Diet Ginger Beer. And I love that one. Absolutely love it. I keep running out of it, funnily enough. Sean Farrell, Eddie is wearing his Poland shirt. Well, okay, I'm not pulling anything tonight, mate. Gemini Star. Let's see. Mr. Trouble by pollution inspectors, repairers, sabotage. Okay, apparently, are you in America somewhere? I think in New York, and I see the Casey Neistat video about New York being very, very, polluted and smoggy, and I think in eastern Canada as well is the same. So best of luck to everybody who is suffering that at the moment. Yeah, Leo Malley, bizarre night last night. Walked into a bar and Chaz and Dave was playing on the jukebox. Oh really? Well, how do you pronounce that song they done? Yeah, what, get you, or whatever it was. Very strange for a small bar in a quiet part of New Zealand. Yeah, sometimes those songs that you hear on the radio constantly when you were a kid, all of a sudden they turn up in a country where you least expect to hear it. I've had that as well. I'd say I was in an island in the Philippines once. I don't know if it was Boracay or somewhere like that. And I was waiting for an aeroplane to take me to another island. And in the airport, this little tiny little airport, they have music playing. And I heard this song that I haven't heard since I was a little kid. It was a song called Claire by Gilbert O'Sullivan. Not Gilbert and Sullivan, the operatic people. Gilbert O'Sullivan. He was a singer-songwriter, and he had a few hits around about late 60s, early 70s, around 1970, around about that time. And that song Claire, it was always in the charts. One of those songs that was always playing on the radio, very radio friendly, and then it just disappeared, and I haven't heard it for donkey's years. And somehow it appeared in the Philippines. But strange the way things work. Sean Young, greetings, Eddie. You're looking casual tonight. Okay, thank you. I'm feeling casual. I'm casually sipping a delightful hot chocolate here. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. That is absolutely lovely. Okay. Yeah, Anton Level. Have a Heineken. 0% lovely beer with the alcohol. I can't say to 0% beer somehow. It's either beer or it isn't beer. I can't really take to that somehow. But you're saying that that's lovely. Oh well, you never know. You never know. Crypto Chris Card is here. Karen Farang from the jungle is there. Dickie B is back from Greece. He's back in the sunny UK. Sean Harris. Sure, Nance. Ed, have you ever tried to learn a language? I tried to learn Spanish once. Before I was doing my big South American adventure, and I thought I'd picked up quite a few phrases. But when I got to South America, every time I attempted it, they just looked at me like an idiot. I don't mean Brazil either. Brazil was Portuguese. When I went to the other, South American countries like Bolivia and Colombia and wherever, every time I attended a bit of Spanish, they just looked at me as if to say, "Okay." So I just spoke English instead, and they understood. G. Wyndham, nice shirt, Eddie. Thank you. Crypto Chris Card, are you back in Thailand? No, I'm not back in Thailand. I'm in the UK. That's Thailand behind me there. Ian Bowden, I just got a train home from visiting mate and didn't buy a ticket. As why? Ticket guy got on and I got stung. Only for the price of my journey. No penalty. Lawless Britain. Oh, okay. Well, you should always buy it. I wouldn't trust that. Trust those bloody things. If you didn't buy a ticket, they're going to sting it, aren't they? Ticket guy got on and I got stung. Only for the price of my journey. No penalty. Lawless Britain. Oh well, best of luck. I wouldn't. I wouldn't risk getting on a train. I would risk getting on the train when I had a ticket. I just wouldn't do it. Lawless Britain. Well, isn't this what Mizzy has said? We talked about Mizzy last night. Mizzy who likes jumping on the roof of taxis and walking into people's homes. I think he's making out. He's making out that he's doing it to show how lawless Britain is. The whole bloody world's crazy right now. Okay, Mark, look, nice to hear from you, Mark. Hello, Eddie. The shirt looks good on you. Nice to hear from you, Mark. Jackie B is always globetrotting already. Evening, Eddie, back in the sunny UK. Just booked 3 nights in Koh Samet while we're in Pattaya in January. Okay, good for you. And Koh Samet's a lovely ant, and they got beautiful beaches. Beautiful, beautiful beaches. I have done a couple of videos on them from a few years ago. Absolutely gorgeous. And the thing is, Koh Samet is very close to Pattaya. It's within a couple of hours away. Good for you. Well worth a lot, mate. Good for you. And January is a lovely month to go there. Sean Harris, Ed, how many types of animals have you ridden on? Let's see. There was Lisa Dale. There was Ed Sweeney's 20-stone wife. To name a couple. No, I'm not one for riding animals really. I was on a donkey once. I think a donkey once at Blackpool. Or somewhere that you wouldn't want to go. Delayed Dave. Sorry I'm late. I was sharing a kebab with Lisa Dale. I'm still hungry. Oh, Lisa Dale is hot topic these days, isn't she? She's got a terrible reputation. Let's see. McLaren F1. Mr. Steady the Eddie, not Edwards. He was the eagle. How's it hanging? Just having some tea after the skinful of Tyskie. What a great Polish beer. Might give you a buzz later. Okay, nice to hear from you anyway, Clive. Paul Oskin, Lisa tastes better than a kebab. Oh, obviously from personal experience. Ian Bowden, was that vile murderer in Nottingham a Brit who wanted to kill asylum seekers? I've not had the chance to keep it up much. No, I don't really know because right now the police have only arrested him and they're not really full of totally clued up on his motive. So it's probably not really wise to talk about it. But I don't believe he was a Brit. I believe he was. I heard he was West Indian. He was West Indian or something like that. Tamra, rabbit. Okay, thank you, Tamra. Hot chocolate's lovely. Let's see, Ian Bowden. I'm sitting watching Steady Eddie at Ascot Station, waiting for the train home. Love your lives. Jesus, spread far and wide. Tonight I'm in Bangkok, New Zealand, and at Ascot Station. Really, I'll get around. Fine, thank you. Have a nice journey anyway, mate. I haven't been on a train for donkey's years, not in England anyway. Mark Oleg, loved that song, 1972. Clear 72 it was one of those songs. It was always on the radio whenever you because a very very radio friendly song. And then when it went out, I mean, I didn't hear it for donkey's years, and I think I heard that. I thought that's familiar when it was on the the music system in an airport in the Philippines. Amazing. But Clan of one, Gilbert O'Sullivan sounds like, yeah, he was very, very popular. He had a few hits. Nick Flaherty, Claire, lovely song. Martin Ryder, strange how they have mentioned the description of the attacker in Nottingham. Well, I mean, it was all on the news. I mean, it was just going on and on. But I mean, the fact is, there were no details when I was watching the news earlier. Maybe some details have come out here since. Nick Flaherty, are you planning any trips in Europe this summer? Well, I don't know yet. We'll have to see. It'll probably be a last minute thing. Yeah, Martin Ryder says. There you go. Okay. Fair enough. I think we know where Martin's coming from there. Paul Hoskin, Lisa, don't be shy. Say hello. Oh no, keep it out of it. I think we've had enough of it. Leo Malley, the Chas and Dave song was Ain't No Pleasing You. Everyone was singing it as well. They were good. They were very, very highly acclaimed, weren't they? A lot of people really thought highly of Chas and Dave and all. It's not the type of music that I would listen to personally, but a lot of people like them. Tanda, Martin, I was wondering that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Martin Ryder, Tanda, as if we didn't know. Okay, we're not going to go there. Nick Flaherty, have you ever visited Seville? Beautiful city, well worth a visit. No, I haven't. I haven't been to Seville. I think it's Spain. I've been to Valencia, Alicante, and Benidorm, as well as the islands. Seville, yeah, absolutely. Well, you never know. You just never know. Gee, Wyndham, Eddie, you need to learn more Spanish than just oiga, señor, cuanto, or whatever that says anyway. Yeah, Ian Bound says, lock that bastard Mizzy up for life as an example. I want to live in a police state. Absolutely, we are a very, very lawless society now. I mean, people are getting away with bloody anything. I mean, we talked about Mizzy last night. I don't know if you heard him, but we talked about Mizzy last night, and the consensus is that if he was to do those kind of things in somewhere like Texas, and I've seen lots of videos, if he was just to wander into somebody's personal property, somebody's home in Texas, then yeah, he's going to get a double barrel response. You know what I mean? Neil Fleet is here. Evening, Ed, even very hot and sticky Wavertree. Okay, yeah, nice to hear from you, mate. Martin Saunders, hi Eddie, you look better perhaps because you're alcohol free. Do you work part time or is I suppose I work part time. I'm still self employed now. I basically work, sporadically whenever I want, really. Not fully retired just yet. AJ, whatever happened to hot pants, mini skirts, and high heels? But Paul Hoskin has bought them all. He's got his own, wardrobe, his own catalogue of them. Hard Shield, good evening. Good evening. Sean Harris. Ed, ever had a fat bed? Who hasn't? Who hasn't? You in the days when I used to drink quite a lot. Who hasn't? Who hasn't? Sean Harris, I bet you had to chop a bicycle when you was a kid. No, I was different. Even then, I was different. All the other kids had choppers. I had a panther. It looked like a chopper, but it was a panther. And I used to love it. I used to love my panther. I used to love it. It was called the panther. I used to love it. Yeah, crypto, Chris. This is up to date. This is what I had. West African, not West Indian. He had a history of violence, and yet again we didn't report him. Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard the history of violence bit. Dreadful, absolutely dreadful. Hard tulip. There you go. Yeah, yeah. I did hear this. I mean, I I had the news on earlier on in the day, but I was doing other things, but later on in the day. Yours travels, fresh from around the Gulf. Later, how's it going, Ed and gang? Okay, nice to hear from you, yours. Nice to hear from you. Did you enjoy your golf? I'm sure you did, mate. Good for you. Good for you. Ian Bowden, I wonder if the media is keeping stuff secret from us regarding Nottingham. I've lost faith in mainstream media. Well, they'll tell you either what you want to hear or what they want you to hear. Maybe they are at the moment. I think what it is when they arrest someone, they can't give out too many details in case they're wrong. But yeah, I mean, just take everything with a pinch of salt, really. I mean, yeah, yeah, they probably probably are. It'll all come out, but when it regards foreign people, I'm still wondering why. This is really this is definitely dark to talk about this. There was a little child called Emily Jones who had her throat cut by an illegal immigrant from Albania. It was a woman with mental issues from Albania who was here illegally, and she slashed the throat of this child, and yet it hardly made news. I mean, most people you mentioned the name Emily Jones. Who is she? This was the little child. I'm amazed that it didn't. There wasn't more public outcry over it. It just seemed to me it got very little news reporting. There's got to be a reason for that. Yeah, Alexander, just booked my flight for 5 weeks in Southeast Asia in November. Thinking of Bangkok, Phuket, Pattaya, Siam Reap, and Hanoi. Any tips? Well, they're all great places, mate. Good for you. Good for you. Let's see, one, two, three, four, five. I mean, the tips are spend a week in each one of them. 5 weeks, 5 locations, spend a week in each one. Oh, yeah, absolutely terrific, mate. Yeah, well, that's it, basically. I mean, you can't go wrong. Five very varied places. Hanoi is the capital of Vietnam, but it's very unlike Bangkok. Whereas Bangkok is a huge sprawling city, Hanoi is very it's very characterful. You can still see the French influence there with the architect. It's a beautiful city, lovely city. Phuket, Pattaya, Siam Reap, all well worth a visit, mate. Let's see, Anton Level. Honestly, have a Heineken North. They're brilliant. You will enjoy them, especially gold. A Heineken Zero. Well, okay, okay. I think I might have had one before, but yeah, okay, fair enough, fair enough. Might just give it a go. Eastern man, why do people who believe in open borders install home security systems in their houses? Because they're all bloody hypocrites. They know that open borders bring more crime. I'm going to read something out that this was what was it was a comment from Eastern man. Very good comment. Let's see where is it now? And this is a comment from Eastern man. Eastern man posted prisons in England and Wales will reach full capacity next month, and the PGA, the Prison Governors Association, has said if governors are forced to exceed their capacity, they will take legal action. 13% of the prison population is foreigners, with Albanians topping that table. So no room to lock the likes of Mizzy, and they are now saying they will have to implement early releases. So we've got so many Albanians now in prison. They shouldn't bloody be here, should they? They should be. They've come here for all the wrong reasons, and we're not going to go into too much detail because everyone talks about this. But now the weather, the English Channel is nice and calm. The weather's picked up, and you got calm waters. they're coming in their droves. They're coming in their thousands once a game. So yeah, yeah, I don't know. It's just like shoveling shit against the tide, isn't it? Really. Actually, let's see. Yeah, Ian Bowden, I've had a few beers tonight, Ed, so please don't cancel me. Oh, good for you, mate. Anyway, it's summertime, isn't it? It's summer. As long as you pay for the beers, as long as you pay for beers. Gaz 77, he doesn't pay for his beers. He gets pissed and then runs out of the place. There you go. Seaside Freddy. Only 2 sentences needed. Uno más cerveza. Well, that's beer, isn't it? And Donde está la zona Roger? Okay, okay, a beer and a Roger. That sounds bloody good. There. So basically, all you need to know is the words for beer and Roger in Spain. That sounds good to me. Leeds. Good evening. KC. Nice shirt. Ed. Looks like you're actually in Thailand. This was like a lot of my clothing actually bought in Thailand. It's got elephants on it. Anyway. Let's see. Ian Baum, yes, sir. I watched some of last night's stream on Catch Up. Okay, thanks for that anyway. Mark Ollick says, I listen to Cyrus XM and they have a yacht rock channel that plays smooth sailing, 70s and 80s music like Christopher Cross, Hall and Oates, etc. Cyrus XM, a yacht rock, that sounds bloody good. That sounds like really, really smooth sailing. Yeah, that sounds lovely. That sounds like the kind of music you can listen to in your headphones when you're down at the beach. Sounds lovely. Sean Harris. I was in Potter's Bar bus station once listening to conversations. It surprised me how much West Indians dislike Africa. I have heard something like that before, but I don't want to talk too much of it. Eastern man, 13% of prisoners in UK prisons are foreigners, with Albanians topping the league, and they will reach full capacity next month. Well, here's a question. Here's a question before we go any further with that, because that's a really really good statement from Eastern man. So the question is, what the question? Okay, so some people will find this a bit offensive, but I can't really think of a better way to phrase this. Okay, so prisons are crowded. They've been crowded. Apparently, it costs an absolute fortune to keep a prisoner in prison. It is cheaper to actually send a prisoner to somewhere like that, to somewhere like a bloody, an island in Thailand. It's cheaper to send them there than it is to keep them in prison. So, criminals, commit crimes and they go to prison for punishment. They don't go long enough. And there's some really, really heinous crimes, committed for which, they only serve a few months for, which absolutely dreadful. So crowded prisons is a big problem. But when you get illegals, people who shouldn't even be in this country, I mean, they're being crowded into prisons. They don't deserve prisons, do they? They don't deserve prisons. Put them in a bloody dog kennel. But dig a big pit in the ground, shove them all in there, and like throw them a few crumbs or whatever, and say, right, you can stay there for the next 2 years, and providing you behave yourself. We shouldn't give a shite about illegal immigrants who come in and commit crimes. We should not be giving them any luxury anyway. So anyway, what do you think, guys? Yeah, Tampa guy. Tampa, sorry if I've missed anyone. Sorry if I've missed it because I've skipped through the chat. Tamba guy, I love celebrities that love open borders, but they have 15-foot walls and armed security guards around their houses. Well, wouldn't you? I mean, if you were filthy rich, I mean, you know, if I lived in a big house, I watch some of this kind of property burn. I like watching some of these multi-million-pound houses in Beverly Hills. I like watching some of that stuff. If I lived in one of them places, I wouldn't be able to sleep of a night time. I'd have to have bloody big, walls and gates and a SWAT team on the premises. I mean, you would, wouldn't you? Let's see. Seaside Freddy, Thai jail are full of Nigerians. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know that they have a problem. Paul Hoskin, the answer is fine. Oh, but there's Paul being vulgar again. Sandra, Eddie, they would have Sony. I can't remember what is the I'm not sure what the question to that one is. It sounds good. I missed out on a little bit of the chat. Yeah, the real Dutch Farang. Tea drinking cops need some guns to shoot some down. Okay, let's see. Citizen Mikey says, Eddie, did you enjoy Malaysia when you were there? Oh, yeah, I did, but it's not really. It was worth visiting, but it's not really my cup of tea. Yeah, let's bring in some of the American perspective. Gee, Wyndham, all South American countries are letting their prisoners escape across to Joe Biden's open borders. Well, yeah, I believe they've got a far worse problem than what we've got here. McLaren F1, that's a bit extreme, that is. I wouldn't exactly endorse that one. Bilbao Kelso, if they don't like the places where they are staying, why can't we send them back to where they have come from? Because it's all talk, mate. We keep saying we're going to send them back. We keep saying this. Every successive government, every cabinet, every politician, every prime minister, every home secretary, there stands up and says, whereas the others before me talked about it, I'm going to actually do it. And then they don't do it. All they do is bloody talk. I believe it when I see it. Apparently, Rishi Sunak was boasting last week that he's got the illegals down by 20%. Come this weekend with the nice weather, they're all back again. It's back up again. AJ, just send them back. Okay. Yeah. David Martin, Devil's Island for undesirables. Absolutely. There must be some bloody remote islands off the coast of England. There's loads of little uninhabited islands scattered around England. I mean, why can't we build an Alcatraz for the illegals who commit crimes? Not the illegals who come here illegally, send them back, but for the bastards who commit crimes, we need a special Alcatraz for those people. Not if they're illegal in this country, we should arrest them, throw them in our own version of Alcatraz for 10, 20 years, whatever. Feed them scraps. Get their food from the bins outside Sainsbury's and Quick Save and Aldi and all the stuff that gets thrown away. That should be their diet. Feed them all of that, and then when the sentence is finally up, then bloody send them home. We need our own version of Alcatraz. That's what we need. Yours travels. UK prisons are like a holiday compared to Asia, where there's 20 to a cell and a bucket in the middle as a toilet. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for illegals who come here and commit crimes, we should not be giving them any form of luxury whatsoever. No form whatsoever. Let's see. Casey, I disagree. Many foreigners have ended up in Thai prison, Bell. Well, they shouldn't be bloody, pushing drugs, should they? Everyone deserves some compassion. Okay. I mean, the thing is, I know, there's a lot of foreigners in Thai prisons, and other various prisons around the world, South America, wherever. But how many innocent ones are there? How many ones there are ones who didn't commit the crime? How many? I don't think there's. I mean, it's not impossible that someone could be set up, but I don't believe it. I think they're all bloody guilty. I think they're all guilty. I mean, I know personally drug addicts, right? Who hides a kite most of the time. They're all these substances, illegal substances, imagine. And yet these very people go out traveling to places like Thailand and Malaysia. And I can't believe that they're traveling to these places without taking illegal substances. They know the penalties, and yet the idiots still do it. No sympathy for them. Marco, illegals in prison need to be sent back to their own country. Yeah, but if they've committed a crime in this country, I wouldn't send them immediately back. They've got to serve time for the crime, first of all, haven't they? They've got to serve crime. Or maybe there should be a new law. Maybe there's a new law that an illegal who comes to this country, who commits an act of murder, should get the bloody death penalty. I'd be all for that. Seaside Freddy, countries that have a demographic problem, Italy, Japan, etc., see immigration as a solution. I mean, in Japan, what is the statistic? I mean, there's something like about 98%. Last I heard, I think it's about 98% of people in Japan are Japanese. I mean, there's only a tiny amount of foreigners there. I mean, they don't seem to need. It's funny. Why aren't these immigrants going to Japan? Why aren't they going there? Because Japan are obviously not a soft touch. Any country that these immigrants don't go to is obviously a country where they are not a soft touch on the benefit system the way that we are. I mean, Britain is like a public convenience for every bloody backward nation who hasn't got any money and he just wants to milk the system. Ian Bowden, Ed, if some bastard murdered my parents and I murdered them for personal justice, then I should be invited by King Charles for a suite at his castle for 20 years. Yeah? Yeah, okay. Yeah, absolutely. I'd go along with that. You should be awarded a suite at his castle for 20 years. Yeah, but would you want big ears bringing you cocoa in bed or whatever? I wouldn't. You might have to put up with cocoa, every night when he's short of company. Sandra. Sandra, Ed, I'm answering your question. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. A crowd of it should be shove illegal immigrants in the dog. Oh, that's right. Yeah, but their knees will be worn out. Okay, I'm with you, Sandra. I'm with you now. Anyway, sometimes I skip you the chat. I'll lose I'll lose the plot. Well, it wouldn't be the first time I'll lose the plot. Okay, thanks for that. Sean Harris, I don't think even prison acts as a deterrent. They would still come do the business from prison anyway, because even prisons are the soft touch. I mentioned this the other week. There's a plan, isn't there, to give bastards like Ian Huntley and Wayne Couzens, people like that should be given mobile phones to make them a bit more comfortable while we're in prison. How bloody obscene is that? How crazy is that? Let's see. Eason Man, Gary Lineker and all the rest of the champagne social migrants, welcome brigade, have the blood of every person murdered by uninvited migrants. Okay. Well said, Eason Man. Well said. Excuse me. I thought we were having a serious conversation. Eddie was the best market. Oh, Jesus. I was just stick to Amsterdam. Seaside Freddy, failed states, corrupt politicians. I know a lot of those bloody countries. We've said this before. We discussed it. But the ballooning population in this world is in third world countries, and where they're popping out kids left, right, and centre. to parents that can't afford to feed them, to countries that can't afford to look after them, and then 20 years later they're coming over here on dinghies. Yeah, rather be, all the money that's spent on foreign aid, we should buy condoms with it instead, and bloody send them to. They won't use them. They won't use them. Yours travels. It's crazy. As soon as an illegal is found in Australia, they're sent back within a week. Australia has balls. We are woe. Is that true though? Because I mean, that sounds good. That sounds good. But I hear from. I've met a number of Australians who said, all the immigrants, their deal, the illegals is really a bad problem. I'd like to think that was true. I'd like to think that we do that. Tandra, Eddie, the EU are thinking of sending them to Rwanda. Oh, didn't we think of that one first? I'd say what, in Rwanda, sending them to Rwanda, it seems strange that he'd chosen that country. It's a reciprocal thing. Rwanda are going to send some people to this country as well. It's not as cut and dried. But the idea all of a sudden that we're going to send them to Rwanda, it hasn't happened. They're just thinking about it. It's all talk. It's become a farce. Yeah. You know what I mean? But my thoughts in Rwanda with the gorillas in the map. Apparently it's the best place in the world if you want to see gorillas. And I hope none of those bloody illegals upset the gorillas. It's all bloody banal. It's all claptrap. It is. It's all claptrap. Gee, Wyndon, back in the day, that island was called Australia. Okay, yeah, okay. I think I'm with you there. Sean Harris, the original Papillon movie was good. The remake was awful. I don't like prison dramas, to be honest with you. Yeah, Eastern man, send them to the Falkland Islands. That'd be an idea. Oh, okay. I mean, they're British as well, aren't they? I mean, the Falkland Islands are British. I don't think it'd be fair on the actual British people who live in the Falklands to all of a sudden have all these evil people there. I don't think that would be quite fair, really. But I'm pretty sure that there's some remote islands surrounded by treacherous water. Yeah, send all the bloody illegals there. You know what I mean? Send them there. Ian Bowden, life is all about unanswered questions. Not much makes sense anymore. We are governed by a different dimensional force. Oh my God. Oh my God, I should keep off the bear. No, you're making more sense there. You might make more sense. Stay on the bear. I know. I mean, right now everything's a bloody farce. I mean, just look at the amount of crime that's being committed. I mean, prisons. There's no deterrent. Our politicians are all being exposed. Who trusts politicians anymore? Look at Boris Johnson, Nicola Sturgeon, all the other crap that's been suspect, thrown out of office for one reason or the other. There's no trust anymore in politicians or anything. Sandra, I heard today they're sending one of those floating accommodation things to the Wirral on the Mersey. Yeah, that's it. Let the bloody Scousers sort the bastards out. Let fit all of these. Feed them all to the Scousers. Yeah, Jesus Christ. What goes on in Liverpool. I mean, absolutely. They're sending one of the things to the Wirral. That's. I can imagine a load of Scousers looking out. Looking across the Mersey, and there's that floating thing with all those. It'd become like a tourist attraction, wouldn't it? It'd become put a cafe on the deck and let all the bastards suffer inside, and put a cafe on the deck of it, or a little bar where you can have a beer. Let's see. Soul Verban. Eddie, don't you think that you're overly paranoid about adhering to the YouTube terms of service regarding monetization. Um, that's about the most intelligent question you've come up with. Overly paranoid. Well, there's enough bloody people out there about the channels demonetized or whatever. And by the way, this is not my main channel. This is my second channel. You can't, but YouTube's the big boss. You can't upset YouTube. And for what? What you gain from it? What you bloody gain from it by upsetting YouTube? Now, YouTube's good. I'm cool with YouTube. On my other channel, right, on my other channel, which has got 46,000 subscribers and over 14 million views. Yes, that's on my other main channel. You have to go back years, about 2 or 3 years, to actually see a video that's actually been demonetized by YouTube. So I know I've played it safe, but it's okay. My channel is nice and safe there. At the end of the day, it's okay thinking you're big and brave and clever and all that. But when you get your channel demonetized, it's not so clever then. I mean, what we're talking about here is a bit, near the knuckle. But so what? I'm not using foul language, or I'm not using, I'm not being vulgar or smutty. Paul Hoskin is, but I'm not. Crypto Chris card. We need to ask why they're paying thousands of euros each and risking their lives when they're already in France. Well, the question I always ask is, where did he get that thousand? I mean, the average Joe in the street where I live hasn't got thousands of euros or pounds in his back pocket. So where did they get the bloody money from? And they're risking their lives when they're already in France. They don't want to stay in France because France and whatever they say, France and other European countries are not a big almighty soft touch the way Great Britain is. Here, we look after them. We put them up in nice hotels, nice accommodation. We let them get away with murder. We give them plenty of money. We invite them to go out and start criminal organizations. And if they get caught, we give them a poxy little prison sentence. That's why they want to come here. Okay, let's see. Gemini Star, sending them to the dogs kennels is still going to cost the taxpayer money. Just send them back, okay? Ian Bowden, Ed, does life make more sense through 100% sober eyes? I've been sober now for 10 weeks, 10 weeks or more. Just like, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it's just as confusing as ever. Sean Harris, I was surprised at how small Alcatraz actually is. Question, Ed, who was Robert Stroud? He was the character that was played by Burt Lancaster, wasn't he? But, it was a wonderful film, classic. Robert Stroud, he was. I think what was good about that movie, as I recall, and I haven't seen it for many, many years, but the idea that he was in prison for a crime he didn't commit. I mean, that's all a bit corny. That as I recall, he was in prison for the crime that he did commit, but it was all like he started with birds, didn't he? And he became the bird man of Alcatraz because he invited birds to come to his cell. I don't mean ones with tits and all that kind of stuff. Well, they probably wear a couple of tits and most, blue tits and all that. So Robert Stroud was the character played by Burt Lancaster. Yours travels. Yes, Tanda, they're sending a few trips to house them. I still know people in Liverpool. Oh my God, they're going to have something to say about that. I mean, they're not going to have, bloody, they're going to have, Scousers are going to have something to say about that. Putting bloody ships full of illegals in their backyard. Dreadful, dreadful. Bilbao Kelso, Ed, what you should do is pay the Thai government to put them up in their prisons like the Bangkok Hilton. Let's see how quick they want to go back to their countries. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. Can't fault you there at all. Hard tulip. The West African taxi driver below me. I often hear him shouting on the phone. All of his friends. The West African taxi driver below me. I often hear him shouting on the phone. All of his friends visiting him. Other African men visiting kids, noisy. British African wife must have left him. Be careful what you say, Hard Tulip. He might be watching the Steady Eddie live channel. You know, he might come banging on your door. Yeah, listen, I watch Eddie as well. What's that you were saying about me? Oh, Jesus Christ. Best of luck, mate, anyway. Tandra, yours, oh no, can they get off? Hopefully, bloody not. Hopefully not. Who's this? Mark Oleg. Eddie, Mark O is not me. Have you got an imposter, Mark? Oh, I haven't actually seen it in the chat. Richard O, Escape from New York or Escape from LA movie. Snake is the name. Oh, actually, Escape from New York was actually my favorite John Carpenter movie. And I think that Kurt Russell played a fantastic part in that. And Isaac Hayes was in it, and Lee Van Cleef. That was my favorite John Carpenter movie. I thought it was a wonderful film. The other one, Escape from LA, not in the same league. AJ, the do-gooders would change their tune if anything happened to one of their family. Yeah, well said, mate. Well said. I'm just going to grab a quick another, round two of the hot chocolate. Back in a mo. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Leeds. Too many do-gooders in the UK that want them here to have a good life. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's going to be bloody nerves, though. Probably, I think most British people that you meet are, are on the right side. They're on the sensible side. There aren't that many do-gooders who say, bring them all in and, let them show them compassion. They're in a tiny minority, those people. It's just that some of those people just so happen to be influential. John Mitch, we need prisons like the highest security US federal prisons where foreign criminals are kept in solitary confinement. Yeah, it would cost a lot of money, that though. Yeah, but good suggestion. Sean Harris, very low crime rate in Japan. Yeah, that's what I've never been to Japan. I would like to, but it's the expense of it that's putting me off. I've heard it's a very expensive place, but very low crime rate. Yes, it's I don't know. I mean, they're obviously a society. I can't really comment because I haven't been there, but they're obviously a society that just get on with their own life, and you know, a very low crime rate. We need to learn from countries like that. See what advantage mate to buy prison gives education and treats the prisoners very well. It's like they aren't in prison, basically. Really, is to buy like that? I mean, I know some of those Scandinavian countries are supposed to do stuff like that. You know, they treat the prisoners so well. Like, and I've heard that, but I never heard that about to buy before. Yours travels, yes, Tom. They're just getting for all the cabins and the ships will be docked up. Not sure of exact location. Oh God, we don't want any of them. Don't want any of them near where I am. Let's see. Adventures around the world. They don't go to Japan because they don't speak Japanese. They come to England because of the language. Okay, that's well, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Let's see. Tanner, yes, probably Birkenhead. I mean, imagine illegal immigrants from West Africa in Birkenhead, roaming around Birkenhead. I mean, to me, like Birkenhead, when I was a kid, Birkenhead was an exotic destination. I never went anywhere. That's probably why I've traveled so much in adult life because I never went anywhere as a kid. I mean, getting a ferry from Liverpool over to Birkenhead, that was like an exotic destination for me. I mean, the idea of Somalians and Eritreans and Albanians and whatever roaming around Birkenhead. It seems bizarre to me. Seems bizarre to me. Momac, Dubai does not give citizenship to foreigners. UK should learn from them. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Vin Valentine, safest place in the world is Dubai, mate. Really, I've heard that, but yeah, that's a place I haven't been. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see the science fiction buildings. And when you see all the buildings there around the city, it looks like a science fiction landscape. I'd like to see it for that reason. But he says the safest place in the world, but there's been some really, really horrendous incidents happened there, hasn't it, to foreigners? Singapore, Dan, your illegal problem is peanuts compared to what's going on in America. My thoughts are with you, mate. My thoughts are with you. Maybe that's why Trump's so popular. People want Trump back. I mean, he does, he says it like it is. I mean, I'm not going to comment on American politics, but all this, we're gonna build a wall. I mean, it took longer than 4 years to do it, isn't it? So, I don't know. I'm not going to comment on American politics. In Thailand till I die. Good evening. Rishi says illegal crossing are down 20% on last year. Our plans starting to work. He'll just tell you what you want to hear. He'll tell you. I think with Rishi, I think that sounds like desperation talk because for once, Labour look like they're really, really, really going to win an election. They're going to win, get back in power for the first time since the days of Tony Blair. And it's not because Labour are any good. It's because, the Conservatives are just fallen into disarray. Ian Bowden, UK is now third world, surely. Well, it's beginning to look that way. Tandra, the processing time is very long. Easy, really, if you have no documents, you go straight back. It's not rocket science. Absolutely, it takes so long with these bloody people to be processed. I mean, they just have. I mean, you could fill like all these ships up for these illegal immigrants, but they still haven't got the room. There's so many thousands of them. Yeah, John Mitch is suggesting we send the illegals to German FK. Oh no, 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 no! They're not going there. Germany's FKK clubs. I suggested that we send the illegals. Did you FKK? Oh, I'll have to check that. I'll have to check. I'll have to Google that. I'll have to check that one out. Sounds bloody good. If John Mitch says that a German FKK club is good, then take his word. He's an expert. Ian Bowden, my country owes me loads. I owe my country nothing. Okay, fair, well, fair opinion, fair enough opinion. Clive, I'm not putting that on. Ian Bowden, Rwanda is typical Tory bollocks. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Yours travels. Rwanda wanted to happen as they're receiving money to take them. You have to receive, but when's it going to happen? I know it's a farce. It's an absolute bloody joke. Until you get rid of this, European Court of Human Rights Act and all of this, it's never going to happen. It's just a farce, really. Singapore, Dan, the Japanese, Koreans, and other Asian countries don't let illegals stay, okay? And they don't give them any benefits either. Traveller lad, if a foreigner has kids with an Arab nationality, they do not get citizenship. Why doesn't every country learn from the best country in the world, Dubai? Well, I never considered that before. Yeah, I never considered. Maybe it's the time that I visited Dubai. Ian Bowden, our country has betrayed us over the last two governments at least, a lot longer than that. Guy, UK is finished. It hasn't a chance compared to other countries now. Yeah, but he said that it was finished in the 1970s. Then we need strong leaders. Britain was on its arse in the 1970s. Strikes, massive inflation, far worse than what we've got now. The worst prime minister ever, called James Callaghan. And then it looked like it was finished. Britain became known as the sick man of Europe. I mean, British politicians went to Europe, and Europe didn't want to deal with Britain because we were in such a mess. People, celebrities were leaving Britain in droves because of the stupid tax system. But then, come the 1980s, we had Margaret Thatcher, and love it or hate her, she managed to drag the country out of the shit. Tanja, I think only 5 people live in the Falklands. Jesus Christ, that's going to make for a lively night out. Imagine going to the pub there, same bloody 5 people every night. Your travels. Shawshank Redemption was a great jail movie. I'm not a fan of prison dramas personally. I have seen that. I've seen it once, but so many people say it's one of the best films ever. Yeah. Mark Ollig, it would not be fair to the dogs. Absolutely, mate. Well said. Keeping those bloody horrible people next to the dogs. I'd care more for the dog, to be honest with you. Eastern man. The world's average birth rate is 2.3 kids per woman, and Africa is the only continent above this with 4.1 per woman. Oh, bloody awful, bloody awful. Okay, anyway, here we go. Super adventures. People leave their houses unlocked. That's how safe Dubai is. Where in the world can you get that kind of safe? Well, that sounds pretty amazing. That sounds pretty amazing. But there have been instances that we've heard of where foreign nationals have ended up in serious shit, for some reason or other, in Dubai. I mean, I have not been to that country. I mean, I'd like to see. It seems to me it looks more like for the young jet set. It looks to me like it's more for the young jet set. I'm not so sure that'll be my cup of tea. AG, imagine your grandparents being alive today. What would they think? How far have we fallen? Well, mixed reactions to that. For one thing, that the grandparents probably seen far worse things than what we're seeing now. I mean, in areas of Liverpool, they had bloody bombs being dropped on their roofs. I mean, a lot of the houses. I mean, imagine living in a working class extended family area of somewhere like Liverpool, and every bloody night, you're hearing the Luftwaffe go overhead, and you don't know whether your house is still going to be there by the end of the night. So the older people have seen far worse. I mean, my grandmother lived through 2 world wars. I mean, imagine how terrifying that was. But really, I suppose the other side way of looking at it, I mean, millions of British troops lost their lives fighting for the freedom of this country, only to see people coming in here and walking all over us. Countries that we have nothing to do with, countries like Eritrea. Most people wouldn't even bloody know where Eritrea was. Albania, what do we owe them? Nothing. Sean Harris. Here today, they used AI to complete John Lennon lyrics for the song the Beatles will release later this year. That sounds interesting. Yeah. Mark Ollick, they should have used Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Paul McCartney, the man who wrote Yesterday, one of the most recorded songs of all time. And what did he end up recording? The bloody frog chorus. Bum, 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 bum. Well, what was it? Oh my God. Well, a lot of McCartney's later songs sounded more like nursery rhymes. Great, great musician and all that, but I think his music lost the plot in the long run. Let's see. Singapore, I could always place a leaves on your mothballed aircraft carrier. It holds around 5,000 people. Okay. Stephen Tutty, do you like Hitchcock films? Of course. Alfred Hitchcock was absolutely wonderful. I love Alfred Hitchcock. He was absolutely a legend in his own lifetime. I mean, after Psycho, when he peaked with Psycho, and a lot of his earlier work was absolutely wonderful. The stuff that he made with Cary Grant and all those legendary movies Strangers on a Train, wonderful film, absolutely wonderful. Psycho, of course, The Birds, absolutely magnificent. He didn't make that many movies after Psycho and The Birds. I mean, only a handful of films after that, but he was wonderful while he lasted. Absolutely wonderful, absolutely amazing. Ian Bound, Ed, off the main drag question to some in the community of your channel. Why do so many people have obsolete profiles? No offense intended, I still understand. I want to be known as Ian. I want to be known as Ian. Obsolete, out of date profiles? I don't really know. I can't really tell, to be honest with you. Adventures around the world. Blue tits sounds nasty. See, it's talking about that. Well, that's their own fault for going topless in the bloody cold weather, isn't it? Let's see. Be More Ron is it. Be More Ron is a YouTube vlogger, and he does some great lives too. He does some terrific lives. I've met Be More Ron. I want to be at that beach with you, Ed. I just got back to miserable Baltimore. Well, I'm in sunny England right now. I'm in sunny southwest of England right now at this moment in time. So that beach behind me, that's Wahin. That is. That's a photo I took from Wahin. But you're back to miserable Baltimore. But you've had your travels. Ron, haven't you? And I'm sure you've had some great times anyway. So good for you, mate. It's really, really nice to hear from you. I mean, Ron's a cool guy because he travels to Thailand, and he might travel a couple of, but he travels a lot to Thailand. He has the time of his life, and he goes back to Baltimore to work. So let's, he's a working man. So let's take our hat off to him. He's a worker. Good for you anyway, Ron. Hope you're earning lots of money, and I'll see you soon back in Thailand one of these days. Anyway. Sean Harris. Robert Stroud Bairds were in Leavenworth prison. Apparently only spent a short time in Alcatraz. Really? Okay. Eastern man. King Charles has more chance of evicting Prince Andrew from Royal Lodge than the UK deporting any illegal immigrants. Isn't the world? Isn't the world become a bit of a farce? It's the whole bloody world, the whole of politics, the whole system has just become a bit of a farce in this day and age. Ian Bowden. I'd like all UK citizens to have IDs. Surely that would help security service to capture wrong guns. Yeah, that might be an idea. That might be an idea. Haven't they considered that in the past? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That could be an idea. I'd go along with that. Age, age, AG, government's done a U-turn. They're not putting them in the Mersey now. Mersey now. Jesus, they put them in the Mersey. The poor bastards. I'm suggesting that they shouldn't be given luxury prisons. I'm not suggesting they should die of bloody pollution, water pollution. Mark Oleg. Kate Russell has reprised his role as Snake Plissken for Escape from Minnesota. I'd like to watch that. I mean, I would. I'm sure that's a bit, bit humorous. But I wouldn't mind seeing that. I mean, the first Escape from New York was a wonderful film. Escape from LA, it was watchable, but it wasn't anywhere near in the same league. But does he still have the biceps? He had wonderful biceps, didn't he, Kate? Shirley, there's no job for us anymore because the immigrants take them and don't hire the people that live here all their life. I'm not so sure that that's the case, Shirley. There's plenty of work around. I mean, there is plenty of work around. I mean, I'm getting on a bit. I can find work. I can find work. There's there's plenty of work around. I mean, there's a lot of. Don't forget, there's a lot of British people, Caucasian British people who don't want to work. They have the opportunity to work, but they're so used to collecting benefits and raising families and at the government's expense and all this kind of stuff. There's plenty of this. So there is plenty of work around. Don't forget, I've lived through three recessions. Three recessions. I suffered really badly in the first two recessions. I had my act together for the third one. But at least in this, if there's a recession now, it's a strange recession because it's a recession where there's a lot of jobs around for those who want to do them. But nice to hear from you. Yeah, Shirley is here. I'm new here. Hello, Shirley. Nice to hear from you. Anyway, welcome aboard, Mister. I'd asked my grandmother in 75 years, never returned to hometown London. Lived 98 years. Okay. Oh, okay, fair enough, yeah. She lived 90. Well, that was good. That was good. That's a good age to live, that, mate, anyway. Let's see, Mister. Morons killing excess cows, no such thing. Okay. Let's see. Stephen Tutty, Japan has a huge number of suicides. Yeah, it's strange that, isn't it? It's strange. I don't understand what that's all about, really. But they have a huge number of suicides. I think it's strange. Is it to do with honor or something? It's strange. I can't comment on nothing like that. There was a famous YouTuber who made a sick video of a Japanese suicide. But it's well documented. In a gay, prisons tend to be crime schools. You come out with more criminal expertise than you went in with. Yeah, I agree with you. You're probably right there, mate. Very, very. Let's see. Be more on. My ex put a hash pipe in one of the bags I got back from her. So lucky not to be in a Saudi Arabian jail. Really? That's terrible, that, Ron. My ex put a hash pipe in one of the bags I got back from her. I was, oh, Jesus Christ. Never trust anybody, man. Never carry nothing for no one. That's the rule when you're traveling abroad. Never carry nothing for no one. It says it enough. I wouldn't let anyone pack my luggage for me. No, no way. I'm glad that you got through that one anyway, Ron. Let's say Ian Bound. What do we want? Ultra conservative states such as Middle East or Singapore, or do we want liberal freedom? Yes. Well, we've got liberal freedom here, but we're too free, aren't we? I mean, criminals are free to go and commit bloody murder and then get away with a slap on the wrist. We're too free, really. Seaside Freddy, Trump being arraigned on 37 felony counts in federal court as we speak. As we speak. Trump being arraigned on 37 felony counts in federal court as we speak, and yet there's still people outside with banners saying, "We want Trump, we want Trump." David Coleman is late to the party. Hi, Eddie. What did I miss? We've been talking about this subject, about crowded prisons, illegals who come here and then have the cheek to commit crimes, and what should we do with them? All this kind of stuff. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that off the screen there. I'm going to put this on the screen. If anyone who's never ever phoned in before wants to phone that number, and it's here somewhere, we'll put it on loudspeaker. And if it's a crap call, whatever. And if it's a crap call, just phone in, say hello, say what you want to say, call me a twat, whatever you want, anyway. Okay, just phone that number. It's like it's normal rates. It's a British mobile, so British rates. That sort of thing. It's with AA. I'll put it on the screen again anyway if anyone's interested. Yeah, Sandra, not asking what FKK means. John Mitch knows all about that. He's the expert. Gemini Star, part of East London has already become third Wales, sadly. Part of East London has already become third Wales. Well, I lived in London, great place to visit, terrible place to live in. East London, well, West London is, I lived in West London. I worked on the runways at Heathrow Airport. Tubbs to 8. Being off the booze 7 weeks, Ed. Having one tonight, feel guilty. Well, the problem with having one is that if you want another one afterwards. I mean, I've got around it. I'm kind of used to not drinking now. It's out of my system. I'm not going to go back to. I mean, in the hot weather, if I'm not having a beer in the hot weather, then I'm not going to have one anytime, really. So, I'm 10 weeks now off the booze, and I think I'm doing all right. Boxing 14. Ed, have you seen the new Andrew Tate interview? We need a topic on him, not UK bloody politics. Well, I've never really watched much of Andrew Tate. Well, we'll see what happens anyway. If you want to talk about Andrew Tate, I mean, I don't know. I've never actually paid any attention to him, really, to be honest with you. Boxing 14. Ed, any tips for the vacations in Mexico? Well, I went to Mexico, and it was in the month of January once, and lovely country. Look, I went to Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and I went to Chichen Itza. But others in the chat, I know Yoz Travels. He'd be the better one to ask for that because he spent a lot of time in Mexico. I keep meaning, it's one of those countries I keep meaning to return to. But what I can tell you is that Playa del Carmen is about 30 minutes away. I think it's about 30 minutes away from Cancun. But Playa del Carmen is a much nicer place Well worth a visit. Ian Bowden, Ed Johnson bullshit got together with Farage to form a new political party. Would you vote for them? No, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't vote because Johnson is being caught red-handed being a liar. He's got. I mean, no, Farage is not perfect. He has the habit of blaming everything on everyone else. He knows Brexit was a bit of a failure, but he blames it on other people. But if he got together with Johnson, I mean, I would never ever vote for Johnson or anything that he's involved in, anything, because he's a red-handed liar, and I don't trust liars. No, no chance. Tandra, if I was a UK border patrol boat driver, I would do a few moves to create large waves. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Let's see. Boxer, remember the ketchup song? It was a catchy song. The ketchup, I don't remember the ketchup song. Mark Ollick, we used to leave our house door unlocked in the 1960s. Well, you know, you can maybe things were safer then the 1960s. But I mean, I was brought up in the 1960s in Liverpool, and you couldn't leave your house door unlocked then. I mean, we had burglars, you know, we had burglars in the middle of the night when the family were asleep upstairs. Burglars entered the house downstairs and robbed the gas meter. So and that was like in the 1960s. So we there's always been criminals and thieves and all of that. Yoz Travels, take care. I'll catch you on Facebook. Okay, thank you, Yoz. Anyway, thanks. Nice of you to come along. Anyway, Yoz lives a good life. He plays golf in the sun. He goes to Thailand. He lives a good life. Good for them. Anyway. David Coleman, white Canadians have 5 kids. Immigrants have 3.5. Canada has finished in 20 years. White Canadians have 5 kids. That seems like, why haven't you got any television over there or something? That seems quite a lot, that does. I mean, in the olden days, they just before no one knew anything about contraception. They just popped out kids willy nilly. I mean, an extended family like where I come from, there was nothing unusual about a family with 6 kids, 8 kids. I even knew somebody where the family had 14 kids, 14 kids, 40. Oh, Jesus Christ Almighty! Must have been very, very hard at Christmas time. Santa Claus had a very hard job with that one. Let's see, Mark Ollig. My grandparents told me stories of World War II. Yeah, my grandmother, the only grandparent that I knew, was terrified. Always thought there was going to be another war, but she had lived through 2 of them, 2 world wars, and that's dreadful. That really, really is dreadful. Bugsy, lots of spare rooms upstairs in Surrey 6 for people to stay. No, no. You never get the illegals out of there again. Mark Ollig, if I hear Hey Jude one more time, I will lose it. Have you ever done a karaoke to Hey Jude? Bloody awful, because when it comes, and it's a long song, when it comes to the second half, you've sang the song, and then when the second half comes, you feel like a bit of a lemon standing there in front of all those people going, na, 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 na. It just goes on and on and on. You feel like a prat. David Coleman, he's from Liverpool. My father was shipped to Canada as a kid in World War II. Most of my family died in the bombing. Yeah. I mean, we think we've got it hard now. I mean, our grandparents, they're the far worse. Imagine living through being in Britain and living through a war where you could hear those airplanes going overhead, dropping bombs on your house, and everyone probably knew somebody who'd been killed in that war, a neighbour or whoever. Everyone knew someone. who's had their homes destroyed. Who have we got now? Hello?
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 Hello, Eddie?
Yes?
You got David Martins on the line.
Oh, David Martins. You're from Liverpool, aren't you, David?
Yeah, I like your shirt.
Oh, you like the shirt, yeah?
Yeah, I like the shirt. I like the conversation tonight. Been a good show.
Okay. We've got other questions to talk about, but anyway, are you in Liverpool now, David?
No, I live in Nottingham now, Eddie. I've been here 45 years.
Jesus, that's a place to be living in today.
It is, isn't it? Been active.
Yeah. I mean, it must have shocked the community. But Nottingham, Nottingham is you know, it's kind of used to hearing about, you know, shootings. They've had shootings before there, haven't they? Gang-related shootings and that sort of stuff.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, where I come from, I mean, you know, Liverpool, where I come from, has always been a bit of a savage place. But nowadays, you know, we never really had shootings years ago. Whereas now they've got shootings there. Oh, bloody Wales gone crazy.
Yeah, it's everywhere now, Eddie. It's everywhere.
So what have you heard? This is David Martin, by the way. So what have you heard exactly about the latest developments?
Nothing. They're not saying a word. They're keeping stum.
Yeah.
They're everything quiet. They're trying to fill in the gaps. They've got the blows.
Yeah.
You've got a guy who you've arrested, but they've got to put the pieces together of what went on.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy. He's trying to mow down people in the city centre 1 minute.
Yeah.
And then he's 2 miles away stabbing people.
Yeah.
And then he's 2 miles away doing something else, and then something else, and then they arrest him.
Yeah.
So the thing in Rochdale with the police.
Yeah.
There was a young lad in the town centre, about 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Got stabbed outside the mini shopping centre.
Yeah.
But the police knew about it.
Yeah.
And they knew he was part of this gang, and they wanted to arrest them all.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when that happens, I would imagine the first thing that goes to the mind of anyone is that is a terror-related. We don't know this now, and they're saying that it is, and there's no evidence of that. But the fact is, mowing people down with a vehicle, that was a terrorist activity some years ago, wasn't it? It did happen. It happened in France. I mean, they got this big lorry and, you know, mowed people down. So.
It's craziness. It's absolutely crazy.
I'll tell you what. When that happened in France, about, you know, a few years ago. I mean, where I live in the southwest of England, I know of a complex where they've got these very, very glamorous bars and you know, lovely bars and people walk past them. You know, drinking bars and so on, about them, restaurants and all of that, and people walk past them on the pavement. And when you want to stop close by, really, I mean, there's hordes of people walking past you on the pavement. And then that terrorist incident took place in Nice, I believe it was. And then I thought to myself, where this complex is located near where I live, it would be too tempting for a terrorist to do the same thing. And lo and behold, a couple of weeks later, the council put all these big stone pillars up there to stop people from getting on the pavement. And I'm pretty sure that was the reason. You know, it's savage that, you know, I mean, these are savage people. I mean, it isn't being proved that it's terrible. Sorry, I'm looking at David Coleman's word, terrible there. It hasn't been proved yet that it's a terrorist stuff. It may be someone who's just got mental issues. We don't really know, you know what I mean? But very, very sad, because they were, you know, a couple of those. Well, it's sad for all three who were killed. But you know, two young students. I mean, young people who've probably never committed a crime and have got the whole you know, life ahead of them. Absolutely dreadful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just a tragic loss of life, you know.
Yeah.
There's no apparent reason.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I mean, bloody lunatics. Let's see.
Well, I'm up fight tonight, Eddie. What's your thoughts on the NHS?
The NHS. The NHS. I've currently I've got an issue, a personal physical issue, which I need put right. All right. And basically, a year ago, I was I was told that I'm going to be referred to get something done about it. A year later, they sent me a letter to say your appointment is this, that, and the other. Well, it's taken a year, fair enough. So I went to the hospital the other week, expecting to come out with knives and scissors and all kinds of bloody things and injections and everything. And they said to me, "Oh no, we're not going to do that now. We're just there like to check you over." And then, I mean, for the actual operation, that's going to take place in about another 6 or 8 months' time. So that's what I think of the NHS. I'll probably be dead by the time I get anything done.
Well, I've had one this weekend because I missed you on Friday night.
Yeah.
I had to watch the replay.
Yeah.
Have to.
Yeah.
I don't want to make that sound like a chore. I watched the replay next day because I had to go to hospital to have a surgery.
Yeah.
To have I've got skin cancer in my leg.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
So they had to cut it out. They had to cut it out.
Yes.
And they stitched it all up and everything.
Yeah.
And he said, take your dressings off on Monday.
Yeah.
And I took them off, and my leg hasn't stopped bleeding since then.
Oh, God Almighty, God Almighty, God Almighty.
So I rung that 111 thing up.
Yeah.
And she said to me, you might have to get to the walk-in centre.
Yes.
I said, now, think a minute, I've got an 18-inch scar.
Yeah.
Going from my kneecap right up the side of my leg. How far do you think I'm going to be able to walk?
Yeah.
You know, I can't bend my knee.
Yeah.
So I can't get in the car or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And she says, well, all we can do for you is say, contact your doctor in the morning.
Yeah.
I said, what happens if it gets worse?
Well.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, David, everyone who was lucky enough to get an appointment and get these surgery or whatever they need, everybody says how wonderful the NHS are. Now the nurse, they probably are. They do an extremely difficult job, and they deserve to get more money for it. Really, I mean, whatever happens to that 350 million quid that's going to go to the NHS? That was on the side of a bus. Whatever happened to that?
They spend more on that on paracetamol.
I know, absolutely. I mean, apparently, depending who you listen to, the NHS costs between 2 and maybe 3 billion a week. A week. It's well over 100 million a year. Well over. Sorry, 100 billion a year. Well over that. I mean, 350 million a month or a week or whatever. That's just a small amount. That'll just disappear into a black hole anyway.
Of course it will.
All this I know is I'm lucky. I can count my blessings. I'm lucky that I don't need to use the hospital or the doctors very much.
Yeah, because they said you could go to A&E. I said I can't go to A&E.
Yeah.
I can't get out. I've got no mobility
to
get out. And says, well, we can't get you an ambulance because it's between 24 and 48 hours.
Yes.
For an ambulance. And I got a phone call about 8:30 saying that you're sending somebody out to see to it, but it might not be till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You stay up.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So I'm having a late night.
Oh well. I mean, I feel sorry for anyone who has to call for an ambulance, and absolutely terrible. It's in an absolute state. But don't forget, there's an awful lot of immigrants who are illegal or otherwise who are clogging up our NHS system. I mean, us taxpayers who paid money into it over the years, they seem to be getting pushed to the back of the queue. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what I did enjoy.
Okay, yeah.
I watched, I think it was Friday night or maybe Saturday.
Yeah.
I watched that your film, Devil's Double.
Oh yes, that's a good movie. That is a very good movie. Yeah, absolutely.
I enjoyed that. I watched it twice now. I watched it again last night. It was a good movie. I liked that.
It is. I think that the guy who plays both parts, I think his name is Dominic Cooper. Is his name? Yeah. He's a superb actor. If you ignore the when he's playing Saddam Hussein's son, if you ignore the Freddie Mercury teeth, if you ignore those, he is a fine actor. It's a very, very adult film, but I find that film. I'll try and see. Can I get that on the screen here? Can I get that on the screen here? Can I get that on the screen? Let's see. Let's see. Can I get that on the screen there? Let's see. No, I don't think I can get that. I don't think I can get that on the screen there. I can't get on the screen, but I've recommended that movie quite a lot. It's called The Devil's Double, and basically it's about the dreadful exploits of Saddam Hussein's son. And a guy called Dominic Cooper plays both parts in that movie. He plays both the double and the evil person himself. And he plays them both absolutely magnificent. But I believe that film simply because there are some opportunistic bastards in this world, evil bastards. If you give them an inch, they will take 100 miles. And there are some people who will behave like that. Really, really are. Okay.
Thank you for that recommendation, Eddie.
Okay, it's called The Devil's Double, and it's well worth a look. Okay. Anyway, so I'm glad to hear that you're okay. Anyway, David. Anyway, and it's really, really good of you to come on again. Anyway, so.
Well, I gave people a chance, and I thought, Eddie's got a nice shirt on, so.
Okay. It's got elephants. It's got elephants on it as well. This was actually bought in Thailand this shirt as well at a very, very, very reasonable price.
Very tropical.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to finish this one off with a film review. We've had a good little chat tonight. There are other things we talked about, but we could talk about. But
all interesting stuff, all good stuff.
Oh, okay, and anyway, okay, that's fine. Well, listen, it's wonderful of you to come on tonight, David. I hope everything's well, and I hope it all works out well for you anyway. Because really, I'm just glad that I haven't had to really use even the so-called operation, which I never had. Even that, it's not absolutely urgent. It's necessary. It's not absolutely urgent. But even so, having to wait the best part of 2 years for it overall, bloody scandalous, absolutely scandalous. Okay.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely. Anyway, great to hear from you, David. I'm going to finish off with a film review here, so you may be interested in this one coming in. Okay. All right. Cheers. Thanks for calling. Anyway, mate. Anyway, cheers. Okay, that was David Marchant. He's been on before, and he's a cool guy. He's a really, really cool guy. So I'm going to take that one off the. Okay, I'm going to take that one off the list. I'm just going to finish off with a film review. I'm going to finish off now with a film review. I'll just answer a few. Let me see now. Let me see. Okay, I'll answer a few more comments. Grab myself a little bit of a cold one. Okay. I'm actually drinking, would you believe, sparkling water. Yeah, it's actually quite nice, actually. Okay, I'll answer a couple of comments, and then I'll finish off with a film review. I know not to everyone says, but anyway, a big thanks to David Martin, to anyone, and let's all wish him the best. With his medical issues as well. Best of luck to you, David. Yeah, Sean Harris. Hernia operation on NHS waiting time is 58 weeks. Private op in UK minimum. 3.5 grand if you can have private op in Thailand. For half that, 800 quid in India. Okay. Yeah, McLaren. I'll be honest, once you get past A&A, I personally can't fault the treatment I've had. I was looking at losing my leg at one stage. Oh my God. But fingers crossed that'll be sorted out. But I believe you, David. Okay, well, best of luck to you too. Anyway, best of luck to you too. Okay, so anyway, we've had a great chat tonight. It's great for you guys to come along. It's Tuesday evening. You know, I mean, what else is going on? Okay, now with the lovely, glorious weather, you know, you can be out having a drink somewhere. But even so, Tuesday evening, there's not a great deal happening. So I always appreciate guys, tuning in here. We all come together and we all discuss things and sort things out together. It's been a good little night. I'm going to finish off with a film review, and I'll probably do about one of these a week, or maybe a TV series review or whatever. Last week I reviewed the Jason Statham movie, didn't I? Last week I reviewed can't remember what it was called. Very, very good Jason Statham. Safe. That was the one. Safe. Really, really good Jason Statham movie. And guess what I've got this week? Another really, really excellent Jason Statham movie. I like Jason Statham. He looks like a hard bastard. He's a fine actor. He makes a fine action man. He's got charisma, and I think he's absolutely terrific. And also, he's got a very, very good agent, because he has actually been in a lot of good movies in the last 20 years. Really, really has. Safe is one of them. And another one, which I watched the other night, is this one. It's called The Bank Job, and it is a superb movie. It was made in 2008, and apparently it's based on a true story. It's set in 1971, and it uses 70s music, 70s, sets and clothes and all the rest of it. Basically, what it is, it's a story of, begins with a woman, a gorgeous looking woman called Saffron Burrows, who gets arrested for drugs, and then gets sort of blackmailed into, coercing people like Jason Statham into a bank robbery. But there's more to it than meets the eye. They do this bank robbery tunneling underground, but really it's safety deposit boxes. But there's contents of the safety deposit box that somebody really, really needs, high up in the government needs. And it is absolutely a thrilling story. It's got twists and turns. There were some great crime movies made in the 1970s. Remember Get Carter, Villain, and this one would have ranked up, up there with the best of them. Really, it really, really is a fine film. Jason Statham plays something a bit more than the usual action hero. Saffron Burrows is absolutely gorgeous, and the actual story to this, I won't tell you exactly what happens, but it's called The Bank Job. And if you want a really, really good British crime drama, then tune into this. Well worth a look. Absolutely well worth a look. That is my film of the week. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. It's called The Bank Job. Jason Statham and other really, really fine British actors. Well worth a look. That's my recommendation of the week. Okay? So anyway, there you go. So I'm going to say goodnight now. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to I'll probably have a pot noodle and watch something on Netflix. I'll be back on Friday evening at 9 o'clock with more action, excitement, and adventure. Let's hope the weather holds up. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Anyway, have a lovely week. I'll see you on Friday at 9 o'clock. Cheers.